The importance of the Supreme Court in our constitutional system, I think, can't be overstated. This is an institution that actually plays this enormous role in our system. The way that we have become conditioned to talking about the Supreme Court is incomplete and unhealthy. The Supreme Court really does hear two very different types of cases.
Everybody focuses on the cases the Supreme Court actually decides to hear.
The merits rulings, the one we pay the most attention to, are the lucky few, the 55, 60, 65 cases the court hears during each one of its annual terms.
There's actually a lot more that the Supreme Court does.
These cases that generate greater concern are the ones that are more high profile. They come outside that normal process and they really matter.
99% of the rulings the Supreme Court hands down that ends cases come through summary, unexplained orders.
We're uncomfortable with this less familiar area of its docket, which Steve has popularized as the Shadow Docket.
Steve's work has shaped entirely the debate that we are having.
Everything starts on the Shadow Docket, either as an appeal or it comes before we get to that point through what we call emergency relief.
The emergency docket or shadow docket has typically been populated by cases involving capital punishment, those situations where you need really expeditious consideration of certain questions because there's an execution.
In the mid-2010s, we see this remarkable ratcheting up of this death penalty specific practice into rulings that are now affecting all of us. We also see a much more aggressive effort by the federal government to take advantage of this process while the court is sticking to its norms of not holding oral argument, of not having full briefing, of not writing opinions. Now it's the difference between whether Texas's 6-week abortion ban can go into effect, whether a nationwide immigration policy can go into effect. The court is doing big things and issuing orders that are actually having massive real-world effects and not telling anybody why.
Courts generally have to tell us why they're doing what they're doing.
The shadow docket is far less transparent in how the court came to a decision.
There's no reasoned explanation.
They can have a single word as the result. That is, grant or deny.
Some of these rulings can come down literally in the middle of the night.
There is no vote, or at least we don't know what the vote is.
It seems even more important that the court explain itself when it's making decisions that are impacting the lives of Americans. There have been some signs that the justices themselves are reading Steve's work.
You see some effort on the part of the judges to take cases off of the emergency docket and actually put it on the argument calendar.
There's been an uptick in the opinions that have been issued alongside shadow docket orders.
The academic work on this issue is having an impact.
Steve is doing more to expose the nuances of what's happening at the Supreme Court than just about any other legal scholar out there.
He has been able to shine a light on this aspect of what the court does.
Illuminating a fundamental aspect of the court's work.
And I think that has led more and more people to pay attention.
The more that the court is doing in ways that the public can't see and can't understand, the weaker the court's defenses will be. And that's really a road that the Supreme Court can't afford to go down. Because once the public loses faith in the Supreme Court, I don't know how they get it back. I'd love to raise the public level of understanding about how we got here in the history of this 234-year-old institution.